But here's what I want to talk about as it relates to this lemonade moment. I'm really actually looking forward to having us alter the scope and the way in which we do our work. In that, I would like us to move from doing more macro-centered DEI work and making it more and more micro, which is something that I have been a proponent of for a long time. And when I say more micro, what I mean is collecting more data. And so collecting the qualitative and the quantitative, but the qualitative experiences that people are having in your midst, because data, what's happening in the trenches around people's experiences with psych safety and empathy and belonging and inclusion and equity is really what's going to move the needle. Or for that matter, instead of doing broader unconscious bias work, what I'm going to encourage you to do is reframe how you're doing your DEI work or tie it to talent management specific practices that leaders engage in a way that marries both leadership skills development and inclusion. So in other words, an example I'm using a lot of is instead of doing broader unconscious bias sessions, we're doing training on how to deliver impactful and inclusive performance management feedback. Or how do you coach in an impactful and inclusive way? How do you sponsor across differences? It's all inclusion, but it's also leadership. And if we tuck it in through the leadership and marry it with leadership, it's a accessible and highly practical and micro behavioral shift focused way of learning and developing. In addition, I would strongly encourage us to move towards skill specific training. So for example, doing cultural competence training. How do you cultivate empathetic leadership and the impact of empathetic leadership on inclusion? How do you create cultures of belonging? The profound importance of psych safety as it relates to creating inclusive environments rooted in belonging. How do you manage difficult conversations? And then the last thing I'll say, going micro, is that in my view, when there are very, very difficult things happening in society, we can't individually solve the world's problems, but what we can do is create beautiful micro moments that our team members have with us, where they leave the experience they've just had with us feeling lifted and feeling empowered, feeling seen, feeling engaged. So these micro moments can have a profound impact on changing the way people are navigating the workplace environment. Won't solve the world's problems, but will help people feel much better about their experiences during the day, and leaders can make this happen. And so this is why I would strongly encourage you to better equip leaders with the tools to improve their micro interactions, their micro behavioral shifts to create more positive experiences.